When we look at a simplified model of communications, what we're seeing is some kind of input or intelligence that, as you can see, is towards the left-hand side, which is your microphone or voice. Or so, for example, at 680 News, the announcer there is essentially giving us the news that goes into the microphone, and then that is converted to a baseband signal, which could be a composite of multiple frequencies, because his voice could range from anything between, say, 200 hertz to 4 kilohertz. So that goes into an amplifier to make sure that we get a signal input into the modulator which is of sufficiently high value and high amplitude, which is then mixed with a high frequency oscillator, and then the modulated signal comes out of the modulator and is then amplified. Now, the amplification is typically done by linear amplifiers. The linear amplifiers, essentially, there is a direct relationship between the output and the input. It doesn't go through any saturation. So these are pretty expensive amplifiers, by the way. And then this goes out to the antenna. On the other side, we go to the receive section, and on the receive side of things, what we see is essentially the antenna coming in back from the amplifier, which is a low noise amplifier, because the signal at this stage is pretty low. So we have to make sure that the amplifier also doesn't contribute to the noise level. And then we have a demodulator, which essentially is a mixing of the carrier again to the modulated signal, which then comes out again as your baseband, and then that is amplified and then put out to the receiver. So really, that is pretty much your communications model. And then between the transmit antenna and the receive antenna, you have your media. Now, in this case, what we're showing you is a wireless media. So it could be a point-to-point link, for example, from A to B, or it could be a cellular connection from a device which is in your hand to a cell tower. And again, that is the communications media there. In some cases, of course, when the frequencies are very low, as in high frequency, they're called HF, and the frequencies are in the kilohertz band, what happens there is that the signals reach very, very long distances, and those signals are actually reflected on the ionosphere. So there are multiple propagation models and modes that we have seen. There's the sky wave, which is the one I just described here. There's the ground wave, which is really a signal which is even lower in frequency than the sky wave. And then there is the point-to-point waves, as we know in microwave and also in the cellular world. Okay? Hope this clarifies the transmit and receive section.